Hey friends, Joey Resendez here. Sorry I haven't posted in a while. All Region Etudes came out last week, and I did want to go over these etudes for you guys and kind of show you some things that I would go about when I'm learning these etudes. Obviously, I played all these before. 36, etude number one is really one of my favorites in the book. Dr. Eason really picked some good ones for you guys this year, so good on him. Etude number 36. Ferling number 36, etude number one. So we have four flats in the key signature. So just to refresh, when you have a flat key signature, to find the major key, you take the second to last flat, and that is your starting pitch. So here we have four flats, B, E, A, and D. A is your second to last flat in there. So that's your starting pitch for a major scale. So A flat major. To find the minor key, you start on that A flat and then go down three half steps. So start on A flat, you go down one to a G, two to G flat, and then three to F. And that is your starting pitch. Same notes as the A flat major scale, you're just starting on F. But since we usually deal with harmonic minor, and that's what I just played, that's the natural minor scale. We're going to be dealing with harmonic minor scale. So to change to go to the harmonic minor, you change one note, the seventh note. In this case, is E flat. You're going to go raise that to an E natural. E natural. So that distance between that sixth note and the seventh note is three half steps, a minor third. So you're going to feel like it's a wide gap between the sixth and seventh note. And you're right. So because we're usually dealing with whole steps and half steps when we're playing our major scales, but there is a minor third here between the sixth note and the seventh note. So I would really familiarize myself with that scale and play it in all full range, in thirds, fourths, arpeggios, to really get it under your fingers. So etude number 30, Ferling number 36. Make sure you have your measures numbered because I'm going to be referring to measure numbers here. So, to start out here, make sure that when you're learning this etude, you are learning in the eighth note pulse, okay? 6 beats per measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And to really, really learn it that way, if you're coming to this etude new, there's going to be a tendency for you to want to learn this in triplets. So I really strongly recommend you not do that, okay? And it's really easy to fall into that kind of rhythm when you're learning this etude, just the way it's grouped. Really learn it in a duple, okay? So going right here, starting off, forte. Don't be afraid to play out. You know, it's big here at the beginning. And then we have the slur going all the way to the F. And on that F, we can release that F. We can lift off of it to set up the staccato that you have on the C. And then if you notice right here, on the second group of 16th notes, and here, right here in measure 1, we have a grace note E flat to a D flat. And you'll notice that the accent's on the D flat. So the D flat's the most important note here. And we have the E flat grace note. So make sure that you really put that D flat on count 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Da, 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 da. When we speed up, it's going to be on the second beat. Ba-dee, da, 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 ba, ba. You're going to feel it in 2. When you've learned it faster, you're going to be learning this in 2 beats per measure. Ba-dee, da, 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 da. 1, 2. Okay? But for right now, when you're learning this, it's going to be on count 4. Ba-dee, da, 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 da. And you will notice that how many grace notes are there? There's one grace note, the E flat. The D flat isn't a grace note. So if you're playing this and you hear and you're making the C the goal note, the important note, you're playing it wrong. And I point this out because I hear so many people play this where they just rush through the D flat the important note, the note that falls on the big beat, and they completely rush through it and go right to the C. And they're just playing it wrong. It's kind of cringe. And the way I would finger this E flat rather, is I would play it with my F key. If I'm playing alto saxophone. So, da, da. So I'm playing it with my middle finger, right here on the first knuckle of my middle finger. Ba. And I'm really making it as snappy as I possibly can. I'm really going to emphasize this first measure because this pattern comes like 6 times throughout this etude. So it's really important that you nail this rhythm, this figure. It's like one of the main motives of this etude. So you have to really get it down. Really play it as fast as you can with still being able to hear the note. If you're playing tenor or baritone, you can play that grace note with this key right here, your high E key, okay? So it works really well on tenor and baritone to play it with this. Works a little bit on alto. It's a little flat on alto, so I prefer to do it with the F key here on alto. Tenor and bari, use this one. It's a little more, you're getting your other hand involved there. I actually feel it lays a little bit easier on the tenor and bari by doing it up here. So, moving on, we're still in measure 1. See how I'm making that D flat the important note. And right here, this is one of those places where it's really easy to fall into a triplet rhythm because they're grouped in 3s here. But really think of it in that 8th note, the 8th note pulse. And then when you get to the end of the line there, you have those 4 C's on counts 5 and 6. 5 and 6 and bam. So you're really, it kind of nails home the duple feel here going into the second line. So I'm going to start here in measure 3. Okay? And make sure you're practicing all that really slowly with the, excuse me, okay, we'll spit out, with the 8th note pulse. Watch out for your accidentals there. This is starting here in measure 5, 6, measure 7. And then we have our first kind of dynamic shift here on the low D here in measure 10. So I would really crescendo into that A flat in the down medium measure 10 and then subito piano, maybe even pianissimo on that low D. Another Ferling classic right here, diminished scale. So each one of this is a diminished arpeggio. Each one of these is a minor third, stack of minor thirds, fully diminished. So you'll notice right here I kind of crescendoed throughout those 2-3 bars into measure 13, and then I come back down after the F sharp in measure 13 to the A. So I just think it adds a little bit more of a little more excitement there. So rather than keeping it soft for a long time, I'd like to go up, come back down. And notice how the accents, go into here, let me just point it out. You're going into the big beat. Ta-da, and make sure you tongue after that. And then right here, you tongue right on the beat there. That one's a little bit different. A natural here, I've heard so many people play A flat there. The natural carries throughout the measure, okay? I would do a fork G flat there in measure 16 on the third G flat of the bar because you're going right to an F natural. So the first two would be four or regular, and then release to the F natural. I like to play a palm F there. Bum 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 bum. Palm. You could do a front. Just make sure it's not too sharp. Palm. The front keys could get a little sharp on my horn, so I just like to do the palm, the regular palm keys. All right. Starting here, measure 19. This is a little crazy. Okay, so we have another figure here with a grace note. There's a couple ways you can do it here. You can do it this way. Do it as written. It's a little hard to do that way, especially going by quickly. It's doable. You can also play this G. You can also split it up to make the G and the grace note one. I'm sorry. Play the G and the B flat grace note as two 30-second notes. So it would be like ba da dum ba da da dum diga dum bum bum bum. I find even if you play it perfectly as written, it still kind of ends up sounding that way. Going quickly. Still sounds good, okay? So either one of those will work, and I don't think anybody's going to fault you for either one. Another diminished arpeggio. Make sure the B flat there in measure 24 is there. Then we have this whole measure of silence. Make sure it's at least the length it is. 1, 2. Okay, so then right here after the measure of silence, you have mezzo forte, so it's not quite as loud. And if you notice, the articulation right here is flipped from the beginning, so you have the staccato note at the beginning of that group of 6 rather than at the end. So you have the F and the A flat are both tongued. Okay, so at the beginning it was like this. And here down here, so it's a little bit different. So and it's only there to mess you up. So again, a little bit softer, and then quickly goes back to how it was at the beginning, right there in the preceding measure. Those 2 bars are probably the most tricky, at least in my book. The way I feel about them right there, measures 29 and 30. Just got to make sure you're starting on B natural, but you have a B flat on the next big beat on beat 4. So you really have to get back onto that biz key, because I wouldn't want you to play it side. So when you go up to that A flat, get onto the bis key. Look at my hands. Bis. so you're ready to go down to the B flat on count 4, big count 2. Sorry. And then we have one last statement of the beginning measure here in measure 31. And then we have this nice cool little bar. And then I would really recommend for the A flat in the middle of the bar there, in the second to last bar, you play it with the D flat key. Bum, ba, da, da, dum, bum, bum, bum. So you could just put down your right hand to go down to the D flat. That's right after it. And make sure you're nailing the articulation here. Ta, ta, ha, 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 ta, 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 ha, 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 ta. Make sure you slur into the last bar. All right. So again, I love this etude. Things I would take away from it is just make sure you're playing the grace notes correctly, especially in that opening statement. So there's one grace note. I'm going to hammer this home. One grace note, the E flat, and the D flat is the important note. The note that's long. D flat's long, it's accented. And then remember right here, I didn't mean to play this whole thing, but remember, you make sure you're doing dynamics. I'm not saying the dynamics I'm telling you right here are the right ones. There's what I would do. Get with your private teacher, make your own decisions, okay? But again, good luck on this etude. I may do some videos of slow practice on this, so something really slow. I mean, just kind of throwing it out there. Maybe the whole etude, maybe in increments of, I don't know, 8 bars or something. So I think that would be helpful for you guys, just to have something like that as you're going throughout this process. So please stick around. Please stay tuned and watch the subsequent videos I'm going to do for Etudes 2, Etudes 3, and Etude 3. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with me. If you're a senior, if you've been watching, since you were smaller and getting into these etudes, just really thanks a lot. And again, I'll be doing videos for the other 2 etudes, so please make sure you're subscribed and check those out when they do come. All right, guys, have a good one. Bye-bye.